What do you think? You think he could beat Boots Ennis?
Well, if anybody can, beat him, but that's a hell of a task he's taking on at an early age, too, you know what I mean? So I would have liked to see him wait just a little bit longer, get a couple more fights in, but sometime when the money calls, the fight has to happen.
Man, that's a tough fight, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, that he has in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country, and he's going to do real well in that fight. I just think, right now, it's a little bit too early for him.
Terence Crawford and Roy Jones Jr. breakdown. Can Zayas actually handle the elite skill set of Jaron Ennis? Roy Jones Jr. pointed to something in Jaron Ennis's game that quietly separates him from most fighters.
I don't see Jaron. I see Jaron as being a guy that's actually knows what he's doing and knows how to fight. Has talent too, but knows how to use his talent. Therefore, it's nothing to break down. And I think they'll find it out come this next fight.
Does he remind you of yourself at all?
A lot.
How so?
Well, he got so many things he can do. He know how to change things up on the spot. And you can be able to adapt and change up on the spot. That's what you don't find in most fighters nowadays. You don't find guys that if this ain't working, they can go do that. If that ain't working, they can go do that. You understand me? That was the one good thing about Bud Crawford. If this don't work, he can change right hand or left hand and try another, or right hand and try another one.
On the same lines, Tim Zhu praised the champion, suggesting some talents are God-gifted.
All right, last one is always Boots.
I got Boots. Yeah, I got Boots. I think he's too skillful. IQ level, how quick he is. I think his level's above.
However, Showbiz sees things differently, offering a take that might just change how you look at this fight.
Xander Zayas, Boots Ennis, there you go, Boots. Mix it up. I don't care what anyone says. Xander Zayas is Boots' toughest opponent to date. As far as announced, we're not sure what's going to happen in the fight. Do I have Boots as of right now? Yeah. But I think Xander Zayas is going to give Boots trouble. I do. I think it's a good fight. If Xander Zayas were to win, that would be like, holy shit. I'm not sure what that would mean. Maybe I overrated Boots too much. Boots, I have Boots in my top 5 pound for pound, actual best fighters in the world. Xander Zayas, if he were to beat him, I don't know if that's me overrating Boots or if we're not looking at Xander Zayas right.
While praising the underdog, Sean Zittel made it clear that both fighters are walking into a situation where anything could happen.
14-0, 10 knockouts.
So he's moving.
And he's got that punch. He's got the left hook that Cotto and Trinidad had. That's the famous shot. And yeah, he
offensive arsenal is unlimited.
And he wasn't in there with a bomb last night.
No, not at all.
So he's showing
he had never been stopped.
Giving his take, Gabe Rosado came up with a technical point favoring the more confident fighter.
I think when guys step in the ring with Boots, they're intimidated with the athleticism.
Yeah, he's a different brother.
Xander, he's not. He's a champion. He's confident. He got that Puerto Rican pride too.
Okay.
I mean, the fight's in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the fight's in New York. I'm sorry.
Might as well be in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, New York. You know how it is.
So it's gonna be a big fan base for Xander, man. So it's gonna be like a hometown kind of fight for him.
As the matchup between Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis gained hype, boxing experts delivered their opinions and predictions. Breaking it down, Timothy Bradley pointed out a potential weakness in Xander Zayas when the fight becomes more intense. He offered that certain situations could push him out of his preferred style, and that could become a key factor depending on how the pressure is applied.
Man, I see a lot of holes in Xander's game, especially when you start to put that pressure on him. Yeah. He try to get the out of Dodge. He don't want none of that heat. Nah, he don't like the heat like that. He like his space. His system requires distance. Can he fight a little bit inside? A little bit inside. It's not a specialty. Nah, he want to be able to work the combinations as you throwing shots. He looking for shots to be able to counter in between with shit, or he looking to start the action, boom, weave underneath shots, counter, boom, boom, and then he on to the next. He around that corner, right? He turned the corner on you.
Looking at the other side, he has the edge. Pointed out that Ennis can be unpredictable in certain moments, suggesting that while there are openings, there's also danger in how quickly things can turn, and that mix of risk and timing could play a big role as the fight unfolds, especially when momentum starts to shift.
Boots, I noticed with Boots also, he tend to it's like when you fight movers and shit, you know, Boots start coming forward and making mistakes and shit, you know, but he be letting his hands go. And, you know, once he gets himself in a good rhythm, you know, and he catch your ass and he catch your ass with a mean ass sequence, he can hurt you. Oh, he can hurt you. You know, you get a little bit overly overzealous and you start letting your hands go because your Boots can be hit. And then all of a sudden, you know, he's stepping back and he's shooting shots underneath. He catch you with shit you don't see. He can catch you with shit you don't see, man, and hurt you. So, look, man, if there's gonna be a stoppage, because I'm seeing a lot of people in the comment section talk about, you know, Boots can stop him.
Giving his view, trainer Andre Rozier suggested one side may have a form and overall ability, while still acknowledging that Xander Zayas brings real credentials into the fight. He claimed that timing and readiness could be a factor at this stage, and that small details may decide how the fight plays out.
Tough affair. Honestly, you know, my heart is always with Boots, and that's a fight that's been made, so I'm going to have to side with him. And I think it might just be a little premature for Zayas, but he is a unified world champion, so he has to bring it to the table.
What would be his keys to victory?
Don't get hit.
Who would you say has the edge, just pure boxing wise?
Listen, I've been in camp with Boots. I've seen him since he was a young man. He's just progressed.
Continuing his analysis, Rozier suggested the challenge ahead may be a lot to deal with, hinting that the gap could be difficult to overcome at this stage. He has the edge. Focus on Zayas' development, noting that whatever the outcome, the experience form an important role in shaping what comes next.
Amazingly, he has fast hands, he has wonderful angles, he's ambidextrous, he can punch. It's a lot to ask anyone to supersede, and I don't see that happening. I think it's just a bit too much, and I want to see what Xander brings to the table, because he's a wonderful young man, and I like him a lot. But boxing is boxing. I have to call it like it is.
What do you think is more likely? If he was to go on and lose, him getting better and learning from that experience, or him possibly getting ruined?
Well, I can only hope he would get better if he did lose.
From his view, Shane Mosley suggested the fight may not be as one-sided as it looks, hinting that both sides bring things that could make it competitive. He added that certain factors on each side could create problems, making this a more unpredictable matchup than expected.
Yeah, I think it's a lot closer too, because Ennis and Zayas is a really good boxer, puncher. Well, you know, he's really big for 154.
Absolutely.
And I think that he can move around really good. He's got a lot of great combinations and stuff like that. But it's going to be a tough fight for him, because Boots is actually a big fighter too as well, and has a lot of skills, not just punching power, but he has a lot of boxing skills as well. And he can go from right-handed to left-handed, you know, at any time. So that could be a problem for Xander Zayas. But I think both guys, it's gonna be a hard fight, and I think it'll be a very interesting fight to see what happens. So I'm not really sure the outcome of that.
Focusing on the tactical side, Mosley said Zayas will need a disciplined game plan to manage the situation in front of him. He pointed out that small decisions during the fight could have a big impact, and that losing control at the wrong time could turn things quickly, with those moments likely deciding how it all plays out.
To give a lot of credit to Xander Zayas for even stepping up to the plate, you know, with a skillful fighter like Jaron Boots Ennis. But Shane, if you were training Xander Zayas, how do you get the job done? How do you nullify that speed? How do you stop that power?
Well, I think that Xander Zayas will have to be more of a volume puncher, kind of like with, you know, what I'm thinking his name, Fendura.
Yes.
Like Fendura was like a volume puncher. And I think that he has to keep Boots Ennis, you know, occupied with all the punches and movements and stuff like that. But if he stays there right in front of him, then, you know, then Boots is going to, you know, take his toll on him. But I think that activity for Xander Zayas will be the key for him.
Offering a different opinion, boxer Albert Gonzalez acknowledged the strengths on both sides, suggesting one fighter stands out in certain areas while Xander Zayas brings discipline and structure into the ring. He hinted that this could come down to style and execution, adding that it may not be as clear-cut as some expect.
Xander Zayas is a really great fighter. I take nothing from him. But I've been a big Boots fan since I first ever watched him fight, you know? Since I first ever watched Boots fight, man, he caught my eye, he caught my attention right away just because of his style, just the way that he could sit there and bang, but at the same time he could box, he could punch, he could almost do it all, you know? I'm a big Boots fan, and so I'm leaning more towards Boots, but at the end of the day, I don't count Zayas out. I know Zayas very, very skilled, very smart, very composed, and very how would I say? He's very disciplined in his fight. Like, they come with the game plan, and he's gonna execute that game plan to a T. You know, he's not gonna. Sometimes as fighters, we tend to fall into the crowd. You know.
Continuing his thoughts, Gonzalez pointed to the mindset both fighters bring into this matchup, noting that structure and preparation could play a big role for Xander Zayas. He also touched on the challenge of facing someone with a wide skill set like Jaron Ennis, suggesting that it's not easy to find clear answers in a fight like this. He added that with both fighters coming in motivated, it sets the stage for a high-level clash.
Drifting away from the game plan, and one thing I've noticed about Xander Zayas is he's very disciplined to their game plan, and he's very disciplined to his boxing. So I know that if they come up with a game plan to beat Boots, whatever it is, he's so disciplined that he's gonna keep it, and he's gonna, you know, it's gonna be tough coming up with a game plan beating Boots, because Boots can almost do it all. You know, you want to box, he could box. You want to brawl, he could brawl. You want to punch, he could punch. You know, so I think overall, I think the real winner is gonna be the fans. Why? Because these guys are both coming in with no losses, both coming in with something to prove, both coming in with a lot of people doubting them from the get-go, you know, because they say, yeah, they're good, but they never find nobody. Now these guys are both matching up, and I feel like both of these guys are out there, damn, you could say trying to knock each other out just to show everybody that they're the true 154 champion.
Giving his take, Zab Judah suggested experience could play a big role in this matchup, especially at this stage. He explained that while Xander Zayas is developing well, the level of challenge in front of him is different. Judah also referenced the back and forth around the fight, showing that both sides are confident going in.
Exactly what I said, right? Remember I said that? I said, if he stay where he's at, he's gonna be great. Xander, not yet. I like him, but he run into an experienced, strong, hungry, determined Jaron Boots Ennis. I know him and Bosey's gonna put together a game plan that's gonna have Mill City sad.
Listen. Speaking of that, you know, Cool Boy Steph was saying that Jaron Ennis is gonna definitely win this fight. I forget exactly what he said, but then Xander posted up on, responded and said, Boots Ennis is 0-2 when it comes to top-ranked fighters.
I got you.
On the same note, Judah said Zayas is still developing and questioned whether this is the right moment for a fight like this. He also noted the gap in experience and suggested there may be other steps to take first, adding that his view comes from timing, not criticism.
And there's no shade on him. I like Xander. He's a good young up and coming fighter, and I just feel like, you know, a fight like Boots is not really. There's so much other guys to go for right now, guys. Okay, here's another thing. How many fights does Xander Zayas have? Watch this. How many fights?
I think it was like 23. Let me see. Hold on.
And then find out how much Boots got. And then you're gonna look and go, oh.
No. Boots got like 32 or something.
You're gonna go, wow. I see what you're saying, Zab. Everybody, cause I don't want nobody to come hating. I don't want you guys to think.
Nah, I think it's like a 10.
Zab is hating. I don't know. No.
Yeah, 23.
I like Xander Zayas, huh?
Yeah, 23 fights. I was right.
Yeah, I like this. Mill.
And Boots is 35 fights.
Responding to the criticism, Greg Hackett defended Xander Zayas, emphasizing that his position in the division is earned and shouldn't be dismissed. He also acknowledged the level of opposition on the other side, suggesting both fighters bring strong talent into the matchup, making the debate more balanced than it may seem.
Monday night, and guess what, y'all? We will not be accepting any form of Xander slander. We will not be accepting any form of Xander slander. He's 23 years old, unified champion of the world at 154 pounds. He earned it the right way. He even beat the man who beat the man that was supposed to be one of the men, if that makes any sense. If that don't hold no weight, I don't know what does.
Expanding on his take, Hackett dismissed the noise surrounding Ennis, arguing that his resume carries far more weight than external judgment. He maintained that while narratives constantly shift, the talk becomes irrelevant once the bell rings, because on fight night, the ring is the only place where the truth is told.
But what I don't like is Boots Ennis has beaten former champions, has beaten contenders, world-ranked fighters, and people say, he ain't fight nobody. He was a weight bully. He was too big. His dad is his trainer. He from Philly. All y'all Philly niggas stick together. Come up with every little excuse. Well, here we go. June 27th.
Analyzing the fight, Mario Lopez and a sports analyst discussed Xander Zayas' strengths, noting his skill and potential, while also raising questions about how his style holds up at the highest level. They suggested that as the competition gets tougher, he will be tested in new ways, even though he remains a promising and well-developed fighter.
And I look at Xander Zayas, good boxing IQ, good legs, but at the upper reaches of this division and beyond, unless you are impeccable as a boxer like a Pernell Whitaker type, Shakur Stevenson, it's hard to stay clean if you can't swat enough where guys aren't just going to be coming on you like in waves. So that's the question mark that I have with Xander Zayas.
A lot of fun potential matchups that can be made, and you're right. There's no more, not that he was ever sort of avoiding, but he's in the deep end now. He's got to face those names.
Yeah, and congratulations to Xander. I don't want to come off as being harsh. Very nice young man.
Very nice.
Very marketable.
I agree with you,
and he's
100%.
Developed his skills,
Yes,
but we're
he
just
has.
kind of like pointing out the reality of what awaits at 154.
Giving his view, sports commentator Ack said Jaron Ennis deserves recognition among the top fighters, despite recent criticism. He explained that different styles can shape how a fighter is judged, especially when balancing control and risk. He added that chasing excitement often comes with trade-offs, and that can affect how performances are perceived.
I've always felt that he was a star in the sport. You know, people have their speculations because of his last couple opponents, and he was criticized. I didn't think the criticism was warranted on his last two outings because of his style. Jaron Boots Ennis is a very skilled fighter, meaning he can use his legs and his jab and stay away and be more defensive, but we won't get those explosive type of knockouts and aggressive performances that people like. When you're in the line of fire and you want to score big knockouts, you're going to get hit. Terence Crawford years ago at 135, he was out boxing people easily. They started complaining. Top-ranked people were whispering about it's not exciting. Then he said, okay, he fought Gamboa, let me start knocking people out. So he took more risk in the pocket, and you're going to get hit.
Right now, everything around Errol Spence Jr., Tim Tszyu, and Jaron Ennis is full of questions. There's uncertainty about timing, form, and who really has the edge. Every fighter brings something different, which makes this hard to predict. This is where small moments can decide everything. Now it comes down to who shows up ready. What do you think? Who takes it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing content.